sweeping away the old and establishing the new. However, one thing that we have to realize, given that we are human beings, we are creatures of habits. What does that mean? That we are a creature of habit. We have routines to do every day. At kapag may nagkaroon ng sa usual routine na ginagawa natin, people tend to be resistant. Ano pong ibig sabihin ng resistant, sir? Ayaw nilang tumanggap ng pagbabago. Kasi bakit pa ako magbabago? Masaya naman ako sa pang-araw-araw kong buhay. Masaya naman ako na ito lang ang ginagawa ko every day of my life. Papasok ako sa trabaho, uuwi ako, ipaghahain ako ng asawa ko ng hapunan, matutulog kaming dalawa, gigising ako ng madaling araw, magwawalis, maliligo, papasok sa trabaho. And on and on and on. That's why we are creatures of habit. Kaya nga 'di ba, very habitual yung ginagawa natin palagi. Kaya anumang pagbabago mula sa nakasanayan mong routine, nai-stress ka because I'm not accustomed to, to have changes in me or changes in the surrounding. So, however, people became intelligent enough to realize na we cannot be stagnant. Hindi maaaring manatili ito. And so, some started to change, but some remained stagnant. And that's okay. Ang buhay naman, it's always dichotomous eh. Okay? It's always, may dichotomy palagi. Kung may oo, may hindi. Kung may dapat, may hindi dapat. Kung may puti, may itim. Kung may langit, may lupa or may impyerno. Lagi yan. It's always two clashing forces na nangyayari. So, in this particular time, during this time, progress faced strong opposition from the governments and churches seeking to preserve traditional beliefs. Parang ano lang yan, let's take, what do you call this? The reproductive health. Okay? Which is, as if I'm not mistaken, it's already a law right now. Sir Justin, is it still a bill? Oh, ayun. Thank you po. So, I cannot trust fully my mind. I had to ask someone else. But anyways, going back, since it's already a reproductive health law, alam ba ninyo na napakamasalimuot ng pinagdaanan ng reproductive health bill before it became a law? Bakit? The church and the state always clashes to one another. The church says na, no, hindi natin to pwedeng ipatupad. Dahil kung ano man ang pinagkaloob ng Diyos, walang diba? Then here comes the state. Ang dami nga natin eh. Hindi ko na nga alam baka ano pa kayo pakakainin eh. Hindi ko na nga alam kung paano ko kayo susuportahan. Bakit? Yung mga opisyalis ko busy na mangurakot. Diba? Kasama ang mga contractors, diba? Na kung saan kulang ang budget. And so napatupad natin yung mga contraceptives to control birth or birth control. Pero again, talagang tumataliwas dito ang simbahan dahil labag nga ito sa kautusan ng Diyos o syempre yung natin, yung buhay ng tao, yung karapatan nila na masilang at masilayan ng mundo. Ngunit on the economic side of it, syempre totoo nga naman, aanin mo nga, magkakaanak ka nga, tas maghihirap lang ang anak mo. May anak ka nga, pero hindi mo naman mabigay ang gusto. May anak ka nga, pero kumakalaman sikmura. So we cannot disregard yung point ng state. But we cannot also disregard the point of the church given that we are a very religious country. Right? And so, nakita ninyo kung paano nagka-clash yung two ideologies. Pero syempre, in the end, may mananalo at may mananalo pa rin. So in our case, it became a law now. So nakita natin yung importansya na kailangan talaga ng birth control or else magiging mga tao. Ang China nga nagpatupad ng one-child policy, di ba? So kung ganun, after all, sabi nga nila, it's utilitarianism. the greatest people for the greatest for the greatest thing that we could do. That's the idea, diba? The greatest parang thing that you could do for the greatest number of people. Basta that's how the idea roams around utilitarianism. Yung makikinabang mas maraming makikinabang, 'di ba? So, dun tayo sa mas marami ang makikinabang. Okay? Now, moving forward, there are major revolutions in history that transpired in the past. There was the Copernican Revolution around 16th century, the Darwinian Revolution around 19th century, and the Freudian Revolution in the 18th to 19th century. Tara, pag-usapan natin isa-isa. Let's talk about first the Copernican Revolution. The revolution was a 16th century paradigm shift led by Polish mathematician and astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus. And what's the point? Nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa kung paano natin nakikita ang mundo. If you're still familiar with the terminology Ptolemaic geocentric model, where it once believed that the Earth was actually the center of the universe or the center of the solar system. But because of Copernicus, because of the Copernican revolution, we were able to find out that it's not the Earth that is the center of the solar system. Rather, it is the sun that is the center of the solar system. Wag tayo masyadong pa-main character. Okay? So, hindi tayo ang main character dito. Ang nasa center of the solar system was actually the sun. And all of us, the 8 different planets who where it used to be 9, was all orbiting around the sun. So, that was revolution, and it changed the way we see life. It changed the way we see science because of what happened. The heliocentric model. So, doon natin mas napatunayan pa, and it led to many more scientific researches to be conducted so as to give us knowledge of our own world, of our own habitat, which is the Earth. Okay? Ngayon, there are 7 postulates of Copernicus heliocentric system. Pag sinabi nating suggestions or ideas, ngayon, number 1 is, the celestial spheres do not have one common center. The Earth is not at the center of everything, which is, we have proven already through the heliocentric theory. Now, number 2, Earth is not the center of the universe, not only the center of gravity and the lunar orbit. Only the moon orbits the Earth. Hindi tayo ang gitna ng kalawakan, ngunit may gitna ang ating mundo at umiikot sa atin. That is the moon. Third, all the spheres orbit the sun. Spheres meaning planets. Kasi the shape of the planets are more like spheres rather than circle. Even the Earth, it's not a full perfect circle. It's spherical. Ano ibig sabihin ng spherical? May pagka-oblong shape, pero not totally oblong. Kasi ang oblong, OA talaga sa oblong. Pag sphere kasi or spherical, hindi makikita as perfect circle. At some point, medyo parang, alam mo yung napisil na bola, medyo nag-bump ng konti sa gilid. So that's how we understand sphere or spherical. Okay? Now, compared to the distance of the stars, the Earth to Sun distance is almost non-existent. The stars are very much farther away than the Sun. What do we mean by that? Napakalayo ng Sun sa atin, to be honest. I just read one news na inilabas ng International Astronomical Unit, whatever it is. Yung pinakawalan daw nila na satellite last 1970. 1970 plus, parang it's already 48 years that have been traveling away from the Earth. Alam mo ba na wala man lang sa one light year, one day, ang na-achieve nung satellite na pinakawala nila to roam around the universe. Imagine, 48 years na siyang nagta-travel, hindi man lang umabot ng one light day. ang distance niya from Earth. Eh, ang distance ng Sun from, ang distance ng Sun sa Earth is light years away. Year, be ha? Year. So come to think of that, how vast the universe is. At saka yung mga nakikita nyong stars at night, mukha lang silang maliit. Pero bakit sila visible pa rin in our eyes? It is because mas malaki sila kesa sa sun natin. Ibig sabihin, mas malapit pa pala yung sun natin kesa dun sa mga stars na nakikita nyo at night. Kasi sobrang layo nila, pero sobrang laki din nila. That's why visible pa rin sila using our naked eyes. Ako, I've been fascinated with universe. Talaga. Parang gusto ko nang sumali sa Guardians of the Galaxy para ma-explore ko ang para ma-explore ko ang universe. So, pero personally, I have always been fascinated with the idea of the universe. Come to think of that, I don't totally believe that we're the only ones alive in this universe. Somewhere out there, definitely, there are also intelligence just like what we have here on Earth. Masyado naman tayo binibuenas kung tayo lang ang buhay. Diba? Baka dito na natin masasabi na talagang anak ka ng Diyos, be. Napakaswerte mo. Right? So, yeah. Moving forward, the motion of the stars is due to the Earth rotating on its own axis. Yes. Feeling natin gumagalaw ang mga stars, but the truth is, it's not the stars that moves, it's our Earth. Nag-orbit na siya around the sun, umiikot pa siya ulit habang umiikot. We make one day or 24 hours. Habang umiikot tayo ng buo, one day kapag umikot lang ang mismong Earth. 1 year kapag umikot ang Earth sa sun. Gets? Okay? Eh kung ikaw umikot ka sa akin, kasweet, eme. So, next, the motion of the sun, if the motion of the sun is the result of the Earth's motion. Oo, ganun din. Same dia kung bakit lumulubog ang araw, sumisikat ang araw dahil nga nagro-rotate mismo yung Earth. Okay? And then the retrograde and forward motions of the planet is caused by the Earth's motion. Ganun din. Dahil nga umiikot pa rin ang Earth. It always go back to that idea. Now, we're done with that. Yan, the Copernican revolution marked the birth of modern astronomy in a major shift in cosmology. Science away from ancient Earth-centered views toward an evidence-based understanding of the universe. Now, if I'm gonna ask you, I just want you to give your thought on it. Kayo ba naniniwala na possibly somewhere out there may buhay aside from us? What do you think? Ito kaya sa tingin nyo yung mga UFO or unidentified flying objects are actually true? What do you think? You don't think because none of you answers. At sumagot naman. Pwede yun. Sagot kayo. Wag na. The Darwinian Revolution was a mid-19th century scientific transformation led by Charles Darwin, whose 1859 book on the origin of the species introduced the theory of evolution by natural selection. At isa nga sa mga pinakasikat na theory was the evolution of man. So, ngayon, isa pa dito ay yung tinatawag ng uniformitarianism. Ano ibig sabihin naman ito? Darwin proposed that slow, consistent natural processes could explain changes in living organism over vast time span. Pinag-aralan niya ito sa Galapagos Island. Example dito, yung mga finches. Ano yung finches? Finches, these are actually type of birds that could be found in the Galapagos Island. Kung makikita ninyo, there has been changes with the beaks. Ano ba yung beaks? Tuka. Nung mga ibon na ito. Which suggests that evolution actually came from the time that it has spent with the environment. Let's take giraffe as an example. Dati kasi daw, ang giraffe was only short-necked animal. Ibig sabihin, maikli lang talaga ang leeg ng giraffe. But because of the food that could be reached by these giraffes, they had no choice but to mutate. When we say mutate, changes in their genetic materials and genetic imprints. And so, through time, after thousands of years, this giraffe started to develop a much longer necks or leeg para maabot nila yung mas matataas na mga puno at makakain. Imagine that. Nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa mga tuka nila dahil na rin sa pagbabago ng mga prutas o mga nuts na kanilang kinakain. Siguro yung ibang nuts mas matigas, yung ibang nuts mas malambot, yung iba kailangan ng mas matalas o matulis. So, doon nagkaroon ng pagbabago. Ngayon, Darwinian Revolution pa rin tayo. Darwin argued that individuals within a species vary in... Yes, I agree. Tayo nga lang mga tao, magkakaiba tayo ng pag-uugali. Our traits. Who I am is different from who you are. Right? From this, and then number 2, species produce more offspring than that can survive. Ibig sabihin, the survival of the fittest. You know how harsh the wild is? How harsh the environment is? Alam ba ninyo na ang mga magulang ng hayop, mga may instinct yung mga yan. When we say instinct, yung offspring nila could survive or not. Kapag alam nila na hindi makakasurvive ang anak nila, they themselves would kill their offspring. Bakit? Parang ang prinsipyo ng mga animal, ako na lang papatay sa'yo kaysa mapatay ka pa ng ibang tao. Mas maaatim ko pa na ako na pumatay sa'yo kaysa patayin ka pa ng ibang hayop. So, ganun ka-harsh ang wild. Na yung parent mo, yung animal, pag na-sense na niya that you're getting weak and you're weak, siya na mismo ang papatay sa'yo. Which is very taliwas sa ating mga tao. Sa ating mga tao, hanggat kaya nating ilaban yung mga anak natin, ilalaban natin, di ba? Kaya si Hodang, tubo na lang ang bumubuhay sa anak mo. Hindi ko gugustuhin mamatay ang anak ko. Ilalaban ko yan. Magkaubusan ng pera. Ilalaban ko ang anak ko until the end. Tama? Bakit kaya? Ano kayang pinagkaiba natin sa mga hayop? Because we have a much more strong emotion. We have logic. And we have reasoning. Yun yung meron tayo na ang mga hayop wala. Meron ka na bang nakitang aso na nag-contemplate sa buhay niya? Ba't kaya ako aso? Ba't kaya hotdog ang tawag sa kinakain ko? Eh di kumakain ako ng kapwa ko aso. Yung ganon. Yung mga ganong pag-iisip, no, na illogical pero nag-iisip. Right? So, hindi kayang gawin yun ng mga hayop. Diba? So, tayong mga tao, we could do that. We could reason out. Bakit hindi siya dapat mamatay? Diba? So, that's how it is. Ngayon, ayan, kagaya nga ng example ko, the natural selection. Now, let's move on to the third, the Freudian Revolution. So, si Freud naman, ito ang aming ama. Hindi namin siya ama sa psikolohiya, ha? Ama namin siya sa psychoanalytic or psychoanalysis. Ito kasi si Sigmund Freud, ibinida niya sa amin, sa mga tao during that time, na upang maunawa, balikan mo ang kanyang nakaraan. Alamin mo lahat ng mga bagay na nangyari sa kanya na maganda, hindi maganda, masalimuot, pangit. Dahil malaki ang gagampanan nito upang maunawaan natin ang isang tao at bakit siya ganyan umakto, bakit siya ganyan umarte, at bakit siya ganyan magsalita. May kinalaman sa kanyang nakaraan. Ngayon, according to Freud, ang ating pagkatao ay nahahati sa tatlo. We have the id, the superego, and the ego. Pag sinabi nating id, this is the primitive side of who we are. Ito yung instincts natin. Ito yung gagawin lahat ng masarap, masaya, at maligaya. Minsan ka na bang gumawa ng isang bagay na masarap? ng isang bagay na masaya at ng isang bagay na nakakaligaya. Ito yung side ng ating pagkatao na gagawin ko kung ano gusto ko, yung magpapasaya sa akin at that's your id acting upon you. Okay? Gusto kong kumain ng carbonara, gusto kong kumain ng ganito, gusto kong kumain ng ganyan. Gusto kong maglaro, gusto kong matulog, gusto kong gawin ko ano yung gusto ko. That's id. But when we say super ego naman, this is your morality principle. It's the one that tells you na, ay, hindi ko to pwedeng gawin kasi masama. Ay, wag ko tong gawin kasi labag sa Diyos. Ay, wag ko tong gawin kasi magagalit yung nanay ko kasi masama daw ito. So, that's your conscience. While the ego serves as the arbiter. Ito yung nasa gitna. It's the one that assess. It's the one that tells us sa anong dapat kong piliin sa sitwasyon. Yung masaya ako, pero nakakasakit ako at nakakaapak ako ng tao, o yung gagawin ko ang tama, pero masakit para sa akin na gawin ang tama dahil hindi ako masaya rito. So, it's the ego that weigh things out. Napunta ka na ba sa isang sitwasyon na kailangan mong itigil ang pasaya sa'yo kasi mali. Mali siya. O ipagpatuloy ang isang bagay na masaya ka kahit alam mo na nakakasakit ka. Wala akong pakialam, basta masaya ako sa ginagawa ko. Diba? Third party forever, eme. So, wag ganon. So, wag tayong gaganon, ha? Oo, we always have to listen to our ego. The ego is the rational side of who we are. It's the one that weighs whether si id ba dapat ang masunod during this particular time o dapat ang sundin ko si super ego. Kayo yon. Actually, you are the id. You are the ego. You're the one that decides in the situation. So, kung ano man ang maging desisyon mo, ikaw yan. Okay? Ikaw yan. Whatever the result of your decisions, ikaw yan. So, tingnan natin, no? Anong sabi ni id? I need to eat right this second. Kakain na ako. Now na. Pero ang sabi ni super ego, you can't do that because you're in the middle. So, kung mapapansin niyo si ego, mukha siyang judge dito. Kasi nga, he's the one that judges. Anong susundin ko? Susundin ko ba ang sinasabi ng id o susundin ko ba ang sinasabi ng super ego? Kung ano man ang ginawa mo at that particular time, ibig sabihin, it's either the id, it's either the super ego that you followed. Okay? Okay. So, now, according to Sigmund Freud, people repress threatening thoughts into the unconscious. So, pag sinabi nating repress, ibinabaon sa limot. Sinusubukan natin kalimutan ng isang pangyayari na hindi katanggap-tanggap or hindi akma or hindi nararapat. So that's how it is. So sa ganung pamamaraan natin siya ginagawa. Sinubukan niyo na bang kalimutan ng isang alaala na masakit kasi ayaw niyo nang maalala because each time na naaalala niyo to, daman niyo pa rin yung sakit nasa nyo during that time. So, kapag kinakalimutan nyo ang isang bagay, we call that as repression. You try to repress it. Ngayon, kunwari, meron ka rin mga intrusive thoughts na hindi maganda. Naku, ang sarap ni ganito, ang sarap ni ganyan. Diba? Parang may pagnanasa ka sa kapwa mo. Okay? Example lang. Ngayon, kakalimutan mo siya. Pilit mo siyang kakalimutan, ibabaon. Bakit? It's because it's taboo. O ibig sabihin, bawal na. Diba? Pero, ang sabi ni Sigmund Freud, memories that are repressed will haunt us in a much more ugly way. Ibig sabihin, pag may mga bagay kang hindi hinaharap at pilit mo lang itong kinakalimutan, lalabas ito sa mga pamamaraan na hindi mo inaasahan. Ganun. Hindi mo alam na ito na pala yung mga nirepress kong memories, nagmamanifest ngayon ang hindi ko man lang nalalaman. Saan ba natin siya dinadala? Sa unconscious. Okay? Sige. So, that's how we understand that. Now, si Sigmund Freud, meron siyang mga critics. Merong magsabi na, naku, hindi naman totoo yung Oedipus Electra complex na yan. Have you heard of this before? the Oedipus and Electra complex. Ito daw, yung Oedipus complex daw, ito daw ay isang batang lalaki na nagkakaroon ng sexual desire towards the mother. Kapag naman Electra complex, batang babae na nagkakaroon o nakade-develop ng sexual desire towards the father. Though this may not be true, but this could hold possible experiences of at least some people. So, para daw makontrol natin ito, kailangan maipaunawa natin sa ating mga anak na hindi nila tayo pwedeng, hindi sila pwedeng makadevelop ng ganitong desire simply because we are their parents. So, napakalaki ng role na gagampanan ng society. Kaya dapat ang mga bata ma-expose sa kung ano ang ginagawa ng lipunan. Doon nila pinaka mauunawaan na, ganun pala yun, no? Nakita ko yung kaibigan ko, yung mga magulang niya, nagmamahalan sila. So, ganun pala yun. Ang mamahalin mo pala, hindi mo pala dapat kamag-anak. Dapat ang mamahalin mo pala, ang magiging karelasyon mo pala ay isang tao na hindi mo maiintindihan na that you have to find your own man, your own woman if you want to come up with your own family. At hindi pala dapat ang sarili kong kamag-anak, lalo na ang sarili kong ina. So doon na i-expose yung mga bata sa societal societal ideas na, ito pala dapat ang gawin natin. Pero let us not also forget the fact that once nagkaroon talaga ng incest among our civilization in the Western countries, sa England, para hindi mahati ang yaman ng kanilang pamilya, anong ginagawa ng hari at reyna? Ipinakakasal ang kanilang mga anak sa kapwa-anak nila. Para hindi mahati ang kanilang yaman. So come to think of that. That's incest. Pero at that time, it was not a taboo yet. Hindi pa ito pinagbabawal. Pero syempre, right now, hindi na yun pwede. Okay? That's a form of incest already. Okay? So, as ko naman na yung Oedipus complex, hinango ito sa storya ni Oedipus, the Greek myth of Oedipus. Ano ba kasi nangyari doon? Ito si Oedipus kasi ay isang ulilang bata. Inabandon na siya ng kanyang mga magulang. Pero lumaki naman siya. Ngayon isang araw, meron siyang nakilalang babae, ubod ng ganda, pero may edad sa kanya. Ngunit nagustuhan niya ito. Niligawan niya ito at nais niyang pakasalan. Ngunit, sa kasamang palad, ito palang babae ay may kaya nasaktan masyado si Oedipus, kaya ang ginawa ni Oedipus ay hinamon niya sa isang paligsahan ang asawa ng babaeng kanyang napupusuan. Napatay ni Oedipus ang lalaki. Nagsama sila ng babae, only to find out that in the end, nanay niya pala ang kanyang pinakasalan at tatay niya pala ang kanyang pinatay. Diyan natin hinango ang storya ng Oedipus complex. May lukso kasi ng dugo, and yung lukso ng dugo ay na-misunderstood ni Oedipus as an intimate love. Pero what he felt at that time pala was actually a mother's love. Is that clear? Okay. So, that's the story of it. Sa Electra complex, ganun din. It's an unconscious sexual attraction toward the father and rivalry toward the mother. It's named of Electra, who sought revenge against her mother for her father's death. So pinatay naman ni Electra yung kanyang nanay para maipaghiganti ang naganap sa kanyang ama. So sobrang mahal ni Electra ang kanyang ama to the point na nagawa niyang patayin ang sarili niyang ina. Okay? And yan. So far, the progress of science follows a cycle according to the University College London. Number 1, identify the methods that are science. 2, generalize this method so they can be applied to any human challenges, not just knowledge gathering. Number 3, use this generalized method to drive social progress towards a wiser, more enlightened world. So this is progressivism. So paano tayo bilang mga tao ay magde-develop paano tayo bilang mga tao ay mag-enhance, mag-improve. So, dapat yung mga natututunan natin must be applied to everyone, must be known by. So, sa ganung pamamaraan, hindi lang ikaw ang natututo. Natututo rin ang mga tao sa paligid mo. Now, science enables technology-driven decision-making, making society safer, more connected, and more efficient. Ngunit, the responsibility remains to advance knowledge and apply it ethically, pursuing not only understanding of the universe but also social justice and equality. Hindi enough na matutunan natin ang mundo. Hindi enough na malaman nating tinitirahan. Dapat tayo bilang mga tao ay matuto rin mula sa sarili nating mga karanasan. Okay? Ayun. And that's pretty much it. Question, clarification, violent reaction, suggestion, or comments. Do you have any more question? Please let me know. If none, then discuss natin ang inyong assignment. Here's your assignment. This has to be submitted to me on paper next meeting during your face-to-face classes. So anong gagawin? This is about history of science, technology, and society. Itong assignment nyo ay nahahati into 4 parts. Part 1, the Great Leap Forward. Part 2, the modern innovations. Part 3, the reflective questions. And Part 4, synthesis. So anong gagawin? Ang gagawin po, you just have to answer everything. One thing that you have to do is that, lalo na dito sa reflective questions, kinakailangan masagot ninyo ng tama at naaakma ang mga katanungan base sa kung ano ang inyong nalalaman at naaral. Okay? And then, so this is more like essay type ito. Same goes with part 4, synthesis. In a brief, what have you realized as you answer all the questions given? How did this affect the way you look at life? So, yan ang ating mga katanungan. Kailangan po printed yan next week, ha? Sasubmit nyo siya sa akin, printed. Clear po tayo? Short bond paper. Is that clear? Okay. So, kung wala na mga katanungan, yun lamang po. Naka-upload na po ito sa ating Canvas. Ida-download nyo na lang. So, with that, thank you so much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Good day po.
Thank you po.
Good day.